Tumamina ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi le ngoma ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi le ngoma ngoba iculwa ithi sonke
imnandi ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi le ngoma ngoba sicula sisonke
imnandi ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi nandi 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 phesi yayishaya
imnandi
oh yeah
ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi le ngoma ngoba iculwa ithi phesi
imnandi
oh yeah yeah
ngoba sicula sithindize
imnandi le ngoma ngoba iculwa ithi thena
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma ngoba i-alto yayishaya
imnandi
Eh.
ngoba iculwa ithi alto imnandi
Ayalo.
ngoba iculwa ithi alto
imnandi nandi 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 sonke siyayishaya
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi nandi 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 sonke siyayishaya
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi imnandi soprano yayishaya
imnandi
Ayeye.
ngoba iculwa
Ayeye.
imnandi ngoba iculwa soprano
ithi imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma ngoba sonke siyayishaya
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
ithi imnandi nandi 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 sonke siyayishaya
imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi ngoba iculwa ithindize
imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma ngoba trangena uyayishaya ithi imnandi le ngoma ngoba sonke siyayishaya ayeye
ngoba iculwa ithindize imnandi
ayeye
ngoba iculwa ithindize
ithi imnandi le ngoma ngoba ibhesi yayiroka ayeye ngoba imnandi le ngoma ngoba ithena iya excela ayeye 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 ithi imnandi nandi 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 sonke sayishaya ayeye ayeye ithi imnandi nandi 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 sonke sayishaya ayeye ayeye ithi imnandi nandi 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 sonke sayishaya listen imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma imnandi le ngoma ngoba soprano yayishaya ithi imnandi le ngoma ngoba iculwa ithi sonke ayeye 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 yeah
Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are about to start. Do- All right, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to sit here.
Welcome to the world's leading automotive alliance. Founded in 1999, the Renault-Nissan Mitsubishi Alliance has become the longest lasting and most productive cross-cultural partnership in the automotive industry. Accounting for every 1 in 9 vehicles sold globally, the alliance achieved combined sales of 10.76 million vehicles in 2018. These cars, vans and trucks were produced by more than 450,000 workers in 122 manufacturing plants across the globe. Africa. Nissan in Africa, 60 years and counting. With our long-standing presence in Kenya and Zimbabwe, dating back to Dead Sun Rhodesia, we have won the hearts of consumers across the continent with over 30% share in selected markets. And we are growing. Nissan already has manufacturing plants in South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria, where in 2013, we were the first overseas manufacturer to begin local assembly. But we are not stopping there. Nissan and Group Hasanawi recently announced a $160 million investment in a new manufacturing plant in Algeria to meet growing customer demand in the country. This new facility is expected to create more than 1,800 jobs, support development of the supply chain, increase Nissan's total potential capacity in Africa to about 200,000 vehicles. Today, Nissan is the most popular auto brand in Ghana, recording a leading 32.8% market share, and we locally produce Egypt's favorite car, the Sunny, in Cairo. We are driving to strengthen our position as one of the leading auto brands in Africa through a multi-strand growth strategy, including expanding our dealer network and product lineup in all our markets to ensure that we meet the needs, expectations, and aspirations of as many African customers as possible. South Africa. As the largest single auto market on the continent, South Africa is of key importance to Nissan, and we are proud to play our part. With a double-digit market share, Nissan is contributing extensively to the largest manufacturing sector in South Africa, which accounts for around 7.5% of the country's overall annual GDP. In fiscal year 2017, Nissan had its best 12 months of sales in South Africa since 2000, hitting a 10% market share. A large part of this success was thanks to South Africa's favorite vehicle, the Bakkie. Nissan's locally produced, sturdy and reliable NP200, NP300, together with Navara, took a 19.5% share of the pickup segment, up by nearly a fifth year on year, proving they have what it takes to tackle South Africa's rugged terrain. And we are now poised to build on our success. Investment of nearly 1 billion rand has been made to increase the efficiency of our plant at Rosslyn. We have increased automation without reducing jobs and capitalized in training and skills development for our employees. Today, our Rosslyn plant in Pretoria is recognized as an important plant and stands tall amongst the global network of 40 manufacturing facilities operated by Nissan and alliance partners, Renault. With the introduction of on-site suppliers to reduce logistics time plus cost, and the upcoming Nissan Incubation Center that will assist small-sized black-owned businesses, we are devoted to drive transformation in the country and become increasingly competitive on the world stage. We are making in Africa, for Africa, and for the world. Our commitment to South Africa is as strong as it was in 1963 when Nissan arrived here, and we can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of South Africa, please stand for the President of the Republic of South Africa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. My name is Wonga Mesajwa. I am a director, or the director of corporate affairs at Nissan South Africa. A very warm welcome to you, to the home of Nissan in South Africa. From here, we look after Nissan in the whole of the sub-Saharan region, including South Africa, of course. Let me take this time to acknowledge with gratitude and appreciation and celebration the presence of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, His Excellency, the Japanese Ambassador to South Africa, Ambassador Noria Maruyama, Minister of Trade and Industry, Dr. Rob Davis, Premier of the Gauteng Province, Mr. David Makura, MEC for Economic Development, Mr. Lebogang Maile, Mayor of the City of Tshwane, Councillor Mokhalape. Of course, there are also numerous other government officials amongst us. We also have representatives of business, industry, and social partners. I'm not exactly sure if Mr. Irving Jim is here, who is the General Secretary of NUMSA, the biggest trade union in South Africa. Mr. Michael Mabasa, the CEO of the National Association of Automobile Manufacturers of South Africa. Mr. Lance Schultz, CEO of the AIDC. Mr. Rene Motilal, CEO of NACAM. Of course, ladies, we have a head office across the sea in Japan, and we have got visitors from Nissan Japan. We have the chairman of the Africa, Middle East, and India region, Mr. Payman Kaga, the senior vice president of the Renault Nissan Mitsubishi Alliance LCV business unit, Mr. Francois Bailey. We also have senior director of the region's communications department, Mr. Roland Beck. I would also like to say a hearty welcome to Nissan's local team and representatives from our key suppliers and members of the media. Before we get down to business, though, I would like to take this opportunity to bring to your attention the following. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you remain seated and do not walk around the auditorium while proceedings are in session. We also ask that you place your cell phones on silent or switch them off. For your comfort, there are rest rooms located to the left where you came in. That's where the restrooms are. And in the event of an emergency, the fire escape is also all the doors to my left. Finally, after the culmination of the proceedings, members of the media are invited to remain behind for a question and answer session with my colleagues from Nissan and from the AIDC. This will take place at the back of the auditorium. With that, my task is, for the time being, at least, is done. I would like to now welcome to the stage a man who needs no introduction here. Ladies and gentlemen, the MD of Nissan South Africa, Mr. Michael Whitfield. Over to you.
Your Excellency, the President of South Africa, the Honorable Mr. Ramaphosa, honored guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, good morning and a very warm welcome to you all. Mr. President, last year when you delivered your inaugural State of the Nation address, you borrowed from the lyrics of South Africa's most favorite son, the late Hugh Masekela, to challenge all of us. Thuma miana, you said, send me, as you sketched your plan of a new dawn, premised amongst other things on the creation of jobs and the incubation of small business to renew and revitalize this country. Later, you announced a very ambitious plan to massively increase direct foreign investment to this country and set a target for all of us of $100 billion by 2023. And last year at your inaugural investment conference, you received pledges of around $300 billion. Today, we're very proud to announce a very real investment of 3 billion rand into a plant that has been providing jobs and creating vehicles in South Africa for the last 56 years. And as a result of this, we will now create a total of another 1,200 full-time jobs across the value chain when we start building our new Navara pickup right here during the course of next year for here and the continental market. It's a very important statement for us as a global company with deep roots in this country and a long legacy in other African countries. We see Africa as somewhere we can make a real and lasting contribution to the improvement of the lives of people who live there through both mobility solutions and, very importantly, through industrialization. I think if we can industrialize Africa by creating local automotive hubs, we'll be able to fundamentally transform the skill levels and radically transform economies which are effectively commodity exporters to manufacturing economies with benefication. The Navara that we will build here is a perfect example. We will start with 35% local content next year when the first model rolls off the line, growing to 48% shortly thereafter, with the ultimate goal being 60%. This will generate an estimated 5.8 billion in new economic value every year to the immediate region. And I think the important thing is South Africa doesn't hold the key to driving this initiative. It has its own business imperative to do so. Our own automotive manufacturing industry has existed since the 1920s. Today, the South African auto industry directly employs 470,000 people. 83,000 are employed in the component sector, and indirectly this industry creates a further 1.4 million formal and informal jobs. And I think very importantly, it contributes 7.1% of the GDP of the country. The industry has succeeded and flourished because of the incredible effort put in by all stakeholders, particularly government and labor together, working as a team. We have all worked with a lot of intensity since 1994 to take the automotive sector to the next level. First, with the Motor Industry Development Program in 1995, its successor, the Automotive Production and Development Program, introduced in 2015. And now we have the South African Automotive Master Plan, which will shape this industry to 2035. This is the background that has allowed Nissan South Africa to assertively campaign for the right to build the next generation Nissan Navara at our Rosslyn plant. This was not an easy process as we competed against other production facilities in the global Nissan network, gradually modernizing the plant and investing strongly in training and upskilling of all our employees, which we had the opportunity to share with yourself earlier on in the day. Today, we're able to announce that the Nissan South Africa Rosslyn facility will build the entire model range of the Nissan Navara for both local and export. As I said earlier, this will see us investing 3 billion in our plant with our component suppliers, creating 400 permanent positions at the plant, plus another 800 with our value chain. And this will also add a further 30,000 production capacity as the first phase of this investment. And as we workforce, we also are playing a strong role in contributing towards transformation. In total, Nissan has 318 BBBE suppliers, and they make up 34% of the total supplier base to South Africa. And as part of our ramp-up in production of the new Navara, we will incubate with the AIDC, which the Honourable President opened earlier today, at least 15 new black-owned component suppliers to enter this industry of ours. The very real message is what can be achieved when there's a meeting of minds between manufacturers, government, and labor. I believe that today shows us we can build a sustainable and internationally competitive automotive industry for South Africa and create opportunities for people in our country in the process. Working together, we are striving to achieve the South African Automotive Master Plan goal of 1% of global industry production, 60% local content, doubling employment, and at the same time making a strong contribution to transformation in this country. My sincere thanks go out to all here today, especially our employers and our partners in organised labour, the DTI, in particular to Minister Rob Davies, the national and provincial government, and our Nissan colleagues. Mr. President, when you laid down the challenge last year, you asked South Africans to reply, Thuma Mina. The Nissan Group of Africa has heard you and today have answered your call in the most emphatic way that we could possibly. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to now ask our chairman of Africa, Middle East and India, Mr. Payman Kaga, to please say a few words. Payman has been a very, very strong supporter of this initiative and has had a significant role in where we are today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, and all our VIP esteemed guests, good morning, and I'm honored to welcome you today for this important event. Actually, Nissan is very strong in Africa today, but this is thanks to generations of employees and workers who have worked hard to build this strong momentum today, but also, most importantly, thanks to the sustainable and consistent policy from the government in this country supporting the development of automotive industry. This is absolutely key for a strong OEM, international OEM, to build the future, because automotive industry is not a short-term action, it's a long vision and long-term construction. Today, we are announcing the next step of our activity here. And we are announcing this next step with the new Navara because we are confident in the skills and competencies we have developed here in South Africa with our people, but also again, because the policy in terms of automotive industry is absolutely clear, not only for 2 years, not only for 3 years, but for the coming numerous years. And this is giving confidence to Nissan to continue to invest in South Africa and to get benefit from the strong and excellent level of skills we have now in the country. And this is completely in line with our midterm plan of Nissan, because in our midterm plan, by 2022, we want to double the presence of Nissan in Africa. And South Africa will be the most important base of this growth. And the new Navara is the new step and new chapter, but this is not end of the story. We have created this facility in '63. We have been the first mover in Nigeria. We are working with Ghana government to develop the industrial facilities there. And we have announced a few weeks ago, Algerian operation we want to start in Algeria. But South Africa will be the mother plant for all of our activities in Africa. And the good news also is, with the momentum we have today, with the strong skills we have today, thanks to the employees we have now at the right level of skills and competencies, we are building here in Nissan South Africa the strong global base for light commercial vehicle for Nissan. But we are going to welcome also in the future alliance partners, Renault and Mitsubishi, if they go for any production in Africa. This will be a LCV, a strong base globally for the alliance, Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi. And already today, we are exporting to more than 45 countries from South Africa. And with new Navara, this is going to be even more and in a sustainable way. So just to say that Nissan is proud of what we are doing here, and we are proud of our people and employees and partners. And I think what we are building is completely in line with the strong policy in automotive industry by the government. And I want really to thank you, Mr. President, for this strong automotive industry strategy and vision you have with your team, because this is not existing in all countries. And this is unique. And this is giving confidence to heavy industry like automotive to build the future. I thank you for that. And I thank all our employees for the excellent job they are doing today. And I'm looking forward to continue to work for the next steps. And again, this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of the story. Thank you very much. And the most important, Mr. President, please come to the stage and to have some words for us. Thank you very much.
Well, I thought the music will carry on. No, that's all right. Program Director and MD of Nissan Africa, Mr. Mike Whitfield, Minister of Trade and Industry, Mr. Rob Davies, Premier of Gauteng, Mr. David Makura, and Your Excellency and Ambassador of Japan, ministers and deputy ministers who are here, and leaders of our government in various levels, and especially the Mayor of Tshwane, Mr. Mokhalapa, and of course, the MEC of Economic Development, Mr. Maile. But more importantly, the working people who work in this plant, managers and the workers, and the leaders of the workers, the trade union, NUMSA, that represent the workers here. And all of you distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, we are really delighted to be here because today we mark and celebrate what I would call a milestone in our ambitious drive to make South Africa a globally attractive investment destination. In contributing towards the commitments made by the automotive sector at the inaugural investment conference that we held last year in October, just a mere 6 months ago, Nissan is today formally launching an investment of 3 billion towards the building of a new brand Navara model. Now, we've said we want to raise 1.4 trillion rand in the next 5 years, and boldly at that conference commitments were made, adding up to about 300 billion. And some people thought that this was just a pipe dream. And some people thought that this is never going to happen. And some even thought that this would not be investments that lead to new capacity. But today we are proving them altogether wrong. And we welcome this investment as we continue to pursue the drive to raise 1.4 billion over the next 5 years, trillion rather. It is a matter of great pride for us that many more motorists around the world will be driving vehicles that bear the industry and the craftsmanship of South African workers. The automotive sector is an essential part of the industrialization of our economy. The sector is a reliable partner, but it is also a dependable ally, as it demonstrated by this investment on our path to position manufacturing as a catalyst to development as well as inclusive growth. Working through this partnership, I believe that we are poised to succeed in becoming a nation of producers, a nation that adds value to its raw materials and creates significant businesses through the various value chains. As is demonstrated at this plant, our partnership creates jobs and builds a skillfully trained workforce on the back of innovation as well as technology. This gives our companies and our country a competitive edge. We are delighted that Nissan has already invested 150 million rand in training and the upskilling of workers to prepare them for the future of work and to enable them to seamlessly make use of technology in this new plant. This is an approach that we sincerely encourage that other companies should also follow. In this era of great technological advance, in the era of the fourth industrial revolution that we're hearing about all the time, we must be deliberate in making the necessary investments to preserve jobs as well as to create more jobs, because these new technologies, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, must not be seen as being job destructive. They must also be seen as technologies and advancement that can create jobs. Machines must enhance the work done by humans and not displace them. I commented to Mr. Whitfield earlier as we were going through the plant, and I observed that you still have quite a number of human beings making these wonderful cars, and you haven't got all these machines and robots. And he said, no, we've got a few, but our tried and tested method is still to have human beings making the cars. And I applaud Nissan for that, because for me, that is a deliberate action. Because business has the power, and this has been demonstrated here, to make the relationship between workers and machines one that is complementary rather than contradictory, where machines completely replace people, and some people do it for all sorts of devious reasons, because either unions are too strong or they want to chase other markets and all that. But I'm rather pleased with what I have seen here. And I'm quite happy to come back and don an overall and do some work one day myself here. Now, I think with this very wonderful relationship between machines and human beings, Nissan is really demonstrating that it has the capability to showcase to the world how this relationship can be mediated. It is significant that none of the 1,800 workers currently employed will lose their jobs, and that 400 new jobs will be created mainly in the manufacturing operations because of this new investment. Our country is hungry, very hungry for new jobs to be created. So when I heard that we're going to be creating some 400 and more jobs, my heart was just overflowing with joy. So today you have made me very happy. Nissan, thank you very much. I'll go to sleep very happy. Now, it is also significant that more jobs will be created in the value chain through the development of new suppliers of locally manufactured components, and we are grateful for this. This will make an important contribution to our efforts to empower small and medium enterprises. This is another important program or objective that we seek to achieve as government. We welcome the commitment to set up the incubation facility, which will develop 50 new black suppliers and facilitate the transfer of knowledge and skills that are necessary for emerging black industrialists to play a meaningful role in the value chain of the automotive sector. Through this investment, Nissan is deepening its commitment to our national agenda of transformation and inclusive growth. Now, coming back to the incubation center, the Premier, Mr. David Makura, was boasting as we looked at the photograph. He says, "Do you see, that's me, right there," because he participated in the sword turning. And I applaud him and our government here for having done a great deal of innovative work to ensure that this facility is here. These are the transformative efforts we want to see across all sectors of our economy. For our part as government, we will support these initiatives through, among other interventions, the DTI's Automotive Incentive Scheme and the Gauteng Government's Automotive Industry Development Center. All these interventions contribute to the country's automotive master plan 2035 through which we will increase the number of cars that are produced in South Africa, increase the local content per car, and I was particularly pleased, Mr. Whitfield, to hear you say that the local content will go up to 60%. That's precisely what we want to hear, and I want to applaud you in advance as you move towards that 60%. Now, through all these efforts, we obviously have built up a wonderful partnership between the automotive sector and government at all levels as well, at national and provincial level, and indeed at local government as well. So our partnership is a beneficial partnership. In fact, I call it a smart partnership. Smart partnership is where each partner seeks to benefit the other partner, and where one partner does not seek to bring down the other partner. And what I particularly find really uplifting with this partnership is the participation of labor in this partnership that you have forged, which I find laudable and truly appreciate. And the involvement of NUMSA in this plant and the way that you are forging ahead in the operations of this plant is something that we truly welcome. I'm glad that NUMSA is your trusted partner that you work with, and I say, may this partnership continue into the future as well. As government, we are continuously working to improve the ease of doing business in our country and make South Africa an attractive destination for investment, but more especially in the manufacturing sector. It is for this reason, amongst others, that we have taken decisive steps to ensure that there will continue to be reliability of electricity. We're going through challenges right now, but your plant obviously relies on constant electricity, and we are working very closely with ESCOM management, organized business, and other stakeholders as we undertake immediate measures to fix operational challenges and set the utility on a path of sustainability. We welcome the cooperation of industry as we work together to overcome this pressing challenge. And you are one of those that we are working extremely well with as we chart our way throughout the challenges that our country is facing with regard to electricity. This investment by Nissan is an expression of confidence, not only in the direction of our economy, but also in our ability as a country to triumph over adversity. It is a clear and unambiguous signal that we are on the path of growth and renewal. Nissan's investment here is a vote of confidence in South Africa that indeed there is a great future for many opportunities in our market, in our country, and I particularly appreciate the fact that you will be using South Africa in a way as a launch pad into the rest of the continent. And we've always said that South Africa is indeed the gateway into the rest of the continent. In many ways, geographically as well, because you come from the south, you move up to the north. And we're very pleased that your mega plant is based here in South Africa, and that you're going to continue to export your various products to more than 45 countries around the world. That for us is a badge of honor that we wear with great pride, but also with great humility. Your Excellency, the Ambassador, this investment represents a further commitment from Japanese companies who we have a fantastic relationship with as government, who have over the years invested significantly in building the productive capacity of our country. This comes at a time when we are deepening our economic relations with Japan as a major investment partner of South Africa. We wish to thank Nissan for continuing to be a reliable partner, of course, together with Japan, because whenever we go to Japan, we talk about serious matters that have to do with how further investments can be enhanced in our country, and we truly appreciate this great partnership that exists between South Africa and Japan, and that in Japan we have this reliable partner on our journey of economic recovery, and in Nissan we also have a reliable partner on our journey of creating jobs and of also achieving inclusive growth. So today I am really delighted to be here and to have been given the opportunity to come and open one of your facilities here, and it is really a joy to see a whole number of stakeholders participating in the growth of this company, management, the owners, labor, government, and everyone. So we are delighted, and I'm truly happy to have spent my morning here with you. Thank you very much.
Yabulela Mongameli. Yabulela. Thank you, Mr. President, for those inspiring words. We are so grateful to have the support of government as we embark on this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to use the next few minutes for a photo session with the President. During that time, we would ask everybody to remain seated. Mr. President, would you please? After. Would you please go to the Navara picture? Mike, yes, Mr. President. Mike, Dr. Davis, Ambassador, Premier. This is an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Em
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The president is on his way out. Could you please stand for the president going out, please? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
I wanna be there for the victims of violence and abuse. I wanna lend a hand, to my men.
Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the open session of today. The president has departed, and the Nissan Navara announcement has been made. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for having taken time to be with us today. I know you might have other things to do, but you saw it necessary to join us in our celebration of this news. What is going to happen now, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. What's going to happen now is that we are going to have press roundtables. The press roundtables are between nominated Nissan executives and members of the media. We would therefore ask that everybody who does not tick those two boxes, how do I say this nicely? The shuttles are waiting for you. There is a few minutes of refreshments. There are refreshments in the middle of at the back of the hall. If you have a minute or two to grab a snack, but we would like to start with the media briefing in about 10 minutes' time. So between now and then, could we all make our way out to the shuttles and back to work? Thank you.